right? Spoiler, XL is actually like the canary in the coal mine on why LEC sucks, because even when they win this series, and they've actually won the fucking group, Tom, a group that I didn't have them winning on paper, I didn't have them even having a chance. The idea they've won this group, I should have to now say they're really good. Now, yes, in the pure direct context of like LEC, they have to be one of the better teams, of course. They have to be like they are top 3, top 4 team. If I've looked how they played, I can't argue against it. But that actually does show me how much LEC sucks, because even after this series, right, basically every player played well on XL. Like there's nothing to complain about. But mate, they just don't seem like an elite squad, if you know what I mean. Like I'm not putting them anywhere close to G2. Like, I don't think they have a chance in that series. Like essentially for me, the thing I'm impressed about with XL is just the flaw. They just don't have bad play in general. Like they always reach a certain level, and they've somehow found a way to make all these players work in the mix. Like there aren't really sore spots on it. Look, I still think the Peach guy's a complete fraud, but fair enough. If you never lose, like, I have to fucking give it up eventually. Like they're working around it, they're making something happen. So I can't. I'm not going to give them an A+, but I'll give them a solid B+. They just keep passing the grade and doing above average. So well played. You got top 3, better than I thought.
Yeah, top 3 is way better. But when you watch the XL team, like think about previous teams that were elite. Think about like when there was that like G2 Fnatic Splice era where everyone, you could tell like those teams were playing a different macro game to the bottom teams, where they would have, you know, things in their mind that other teams wouldn't have. So even if they were like behind in games, you could tell they could still win. It feels like XL, number one, they haven't had to play a best of 5, so I feel like teams could be able to adapt to them. But it seems like XL, they have good drafts for the players that they have. So they're well coached in terms of like they're drafting things that make sense for the team. They have like stable lanes, like no one's making too many mistakes, and normally they're outscaling in games. So if the game is messy and it goes late, normally they have some type of advantage. That's pretty much it. Like that is pretty much how I see XL. But I still don't believe they're a top 3 team. Even though they place top 3, like, do I think this team is going to be going to Worlds? Because top 3 would go to Worlds, right? Auto qualify. I can't see XL going to Worlds. Like, how doomed is Europe if XL goes to fucking World? Can you imagine XL playing versus like Billy or some shit? What the fuck would happen? Like, how horrible would this be? Like, it can't happen. It's like how I was thinking about Golden Guardians before. I mean, I guess they did take a game off BLG, so I could be surprised. I just don't believe in the team. Like I would love to see a good version of Fnatic, a good version of Mad Lions, BDS, G2. Like that's what I want to see out of Europe right now. I don't really trust these other teams. Like SKXL, maybe they're playing better right now. I don't trust them. I don't know. I can't bring myself to trust them. I watch the games and, you know, it's like 30 minutes in and I see Peach just like getting caught right next to Baron. It's like, how this happens every fucking game. Like how can you just get caught next to Baron late in the game, every fucking game, and be a good team? Like it just doesn't register for me. I can't, it doesn't compute.
Now here's the thing. I'm like Dom in the sense that like I'm committed to hating. It's a way of life. It's not just something that happens when you're annoyed. It's not just something that happens when, you know, like you get an angle. You have to even know how to hate on people even when they win. Like Dom's done it before T1. It's actually the real elite cream of the crop hating is they win a match and you find a way to critique them and say downplay what they did. So you ready? Get ready, because I've been one of the all-time great Abedage haters, right? So get ready for this is going to be some like prime level, like top shelf 10 out of 10 hating on someone who just won a series, had like sort of a throwback split, and now people are going to consider he must be one of the better mid laners. So you ready? This is actually courtesy. The idea for this came from Keyray, the Scottish guy on my Discord, who people might have seen comes on Rich's Wrath show sometimes, right? He pointed this out to me.
Jungler ran it down all of season 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the angle for you, right? All of the success of Abedage comes when it's only studio games, when there's no crowd. When he won with 100 Thieves, it wasn't like a big in the stadium and that. When he was on the Miracle Run with Schalke, that was during the certain year where we were all just in studios and at home. And then now, remember, in group stage, you don't go to a big arena. You're just in the LEC studio again. So basically, remember, the original thing about Abedage was, he gets a bit nervous under pressure. You never have to see him play under pressure. All his best performances come with no pressure. So you ready, Dom? Here's my nickname for Abedage. The Studio Gangster.
Okay.
If you know the hip-hop reference, that's straight fire. Basically,
yeah, no, I get no one's going to understand that. I get it. I get it, though.
if you're a kid, a studio gangster in rap is the guy where it's the guy where in all of his verses, you know, he's in the streets, he's fucking dumping Glocks, running the block, he's gonna fuck your bitch, he sells drugs, you know, he did a fucking bid, but in real life, that's a part he plays. Yeah, he wasn't really maybe from the projects. He had no criminal record. He actually, the joke is often probably went to like fucking music school or something, you know, and they were just some nerdy like Urkel motherfucker, and then they just came in like, right, time to put the persona on, like I grip the 9, and now's my time. Like, you know, fucking. Yeah. That's Abadage. The problem with Abadage is it's Abe Faker. It's like, yeah, maybe Faker now with his hand all fucked up, you idiot. Like, he's just mid. Here's the thing: his position tells you what Abadage is. He's just mid.
Yeah, he didn't have like a super impressive games. He didn't have crazy games. The thing that triggers me about Excel is like, they also skirmish so poorly most of the time. Like, it's very hard. Like, it's hard watching them play 2v2s. And I mean, if you know anything about me and what I like in League of Legends and like my style of teams that I enjoy, it's like the opposite of OMG. You know, it's like they have good drafts like of champions, and they're just like going to sit back and then like hopefully win a fight around 30 minutes and then win the game. Whereas like OMG is like the fucking skirmish team. If there's like a 2v3 but they're up mythic items, like OMG is winning that shit every single time. So when I watch XL, there's so many moments in the games where I just don't like the team. So for example, here's a fight to look at where you'll see what I'm talking about. If you go to game 1 of XL versus SK, this is the one where you have Certus on the Tristana, Abadage's on his Jace, you have a Sejuani from Peach, and it's early mythic completions for XL. XL has everything they want, right? They have early mythic completions. They get into a situation with the support moving where Odo dies, but Abadage TP'd behind and Peach is there as well. And they're double mythic items to no mythic items, which is like massive power spike in League. And you watch the way they execute this 2v2 where like Peach Q flashes and then he like holds his ult because he doesn't want to like stack the CC, and then he just throws it and whiffs it at the same time. Like Abadage is poking, but he doesn't know if they like should commit all the way or if they should just kind of like try to chunk them and see how the fight turns out. That's like right there. That is what I hate about League. Like they should, if their mindset should be like, we have mythic items, we are so much stronger, and we're just going to like one shot one of them. QR from Sejuani, flash on top, just one shot one of them, and then you could scrap it out afterwards. The support gets there late. Who the fuck cares? The support joins, and then your mythic items, you don't have like ult cooldowns, but you're playing versus Tristana and a support when you have Eclipse on Jace and a Radiant Virtue on Sejuani. And you just watch the way they play it. It's so fucking ugly. And it's like, you could tell that in the moment, they don't realize how strong they are in relation to the enemies. They're kind of like, oh, well, like support is moving, so I don't know if we can fight it. Like, I hate that type of mindset. You should just be able to recognize from playing like even solo queue, we are strong as fuck. They're on our screen. We're just going to fight it. Like, it doesn't matter 2v3, 2v4, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. We can one-shot people because we are so fucking strong item-wise. And they don't take any of those flips. They're the team that wants like, we want a 5v5. Oh, we need to have like TP advantage in order to make this bot play. Like, they just abide by all the rules of League of Legends, but they don't ever try to break them. And that really triggers me as a player.
If you want to see why neither XL nor SK impresses me, go and watch game 3 from about halfway onwards with all these fights that happen, right? Bro, just pause the screen when the second the fight starts, right? I challenge anyone to tell me who would, if you don't know the result, to tell me who wins each of these fights. Like, I don't think the teams know it. And these were some of the messiest team fights you ever see, mate. Like, it was like everyone flipping a coin. It was terrible. It was really bad League of Legends.
It's even deeper than that because like, so I watch a ton of League, and after you watch enough League, you'll know which locations champions want to fight in. And it's like XL and SK don't even consider that. Like, they'll like be like, oh, we have TP advantage, and then they'll just like force a 4v5 where the enemy team is in like full tight back position, and it's like there's no way for the Akali to get on backline, no way for them to dive, there's no flank, and they'll just fight it anyway because it's the right thing to do, right? It's like, oh, we have a man advantage, we'll try to fight. I really just hate the way that these teams set up the map. I just can't accept that they're good. I don't know. I can't accept that XL is actually a good team. It just won't happen to me.
Later on, we'll do the LEC is terrible rap. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.